I would like you to imagine waking up tomorrow morning and discovering that every AI system, all those LLMs that you are familiar with, has disappeared. No ChatGPT, no Gemini, no Claude, no co-pilots, no AI recommendations on YouTube, on Netflix, no AI in Google Maps. How different would your day be? That's a big question. But 5 years ago, most people would have said not much. But today, many of us will struggle to get by, by the day. That's how quickly AI has become part of our lives. But here is the interesting part. Using AI is no longer the competitive advantage, but building with AI is the competitive advantage. And that's exactly what we're going to be exploring together today. Apologies that I won't be able to be there with you live, but I hope that you will be able to follow me through the keynote address and then pick one or two things at the end of the day, because that's the goal. So I'll be speaking on the endless opportunities and applications of automated AI. How you, the students in different faculty, how you can use it to solve problems. You want to find problems, you want to build solutions, you want to grow careers with artificial intelligence. Let me start by saying, I envy a whole lot of you that are studying something else, other than computer science, because you have a domain knowledge. And if you now have a solid understanding of AI, you can leverage that in your field and identify problems, solve problems in your field. That means you have an advantage in that you have a domain knowledge somewhere in law, in finance, in marketing, in whatever you're studying, and then you want to bring in AI to solve a problem in that field. But what exactly is automated AI? So we're going to look at automation in itself, artificial intelligence, and of course, when we bring the two together, automated AI. Automation, you're talking about a system that follows a set of rules. Every now and then, when you start from here, you move here and you move here. That's the rule, automation. Okay, when you set it in motion in companies or in factories, okay, the raw material moves and then you get to a certain place, something happens, it will always boil at 100 degrees Celsius. It's going to move into the packaging. Automation, it follows the rule strictly. Artificial intelligence in itself, we're talking about that that learns, the system that learns from data and then makes prediction, attempts to do what ordinarily speaking has been designed to be done by humans. We're talking about AI. There's no just one rule. It can discover things and patterns and then make prediction on its own. So when you bring those two words or the two concepts together, we have what we call automated AI. Now the AI that runs that runs, on its own inside the workflow. You already have that workflow, but this time around you have AI in it that can make decisions, that can run on its own with little or no human input, and that is the automated AI. I love using this example. In my church, I kind of manage the social media platform, and it's been over a year that I've even gone there to, check certain things, because every 10 a.m. every day, 10 a.m. every day, you always see a post on our Facebook. You always see a post on our Instagram. I don't need to go there to make the post because I already set it in motion. Generate, content in this particular space. Generate the picture to go with the content. I've kind of taught it how our pastor used to write his thing. So every day you always see something on our social media platform. So the AI is doing its own generation, and then it's also following the rules by ensuring that the posts are always out there every day by 10 a.m. But if you're talking about automated AI and you're looking at, oh, what's this? What are they talking about? This is not something that is new entirely, right? You already have your WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, a lot of companies have set up, automation on WhatsApp. You say hello, is responding to you, not just the usual predetermined messages, right? It's able to have conversation with you and guide you accordingly. You are on Google Maps, is predicting where the traffic is, predicting, maybe you should take a certain route. It's not just telling you from Ikoyi to, Bagada, just straightforward. It's also looking around, looking out for you, ensuring that He's able to suggest the best, shortcuts that you can get and then bypass traffic, or you don't want to walk on the main road, you want to go through the street. All these are there on Google Map. Or you get fraud alerts, from your bank when somebody is trying to log into your account. You have the autocorrect on your phone, you're typing and it's correcting whatever you're typing. Or you're on Netflix, you are on Spotify, you finished one movie, it's already recommending another movie for you. You finished one song on Spotify, it's already recommending a song with similar flow, similar tempo, similar, all those things, beat per minute and what have you. So you are already using automated AI. Maybe just that you've not really figured out that this is what you're using, or you are not the one building and deciding how the automation will flow. But why this matters right now is because a lot of jobs, according to World Economic Forum, you see about 170 million jobs that has to do with technology, AI, within the next few years by 2030. And then 39% of, core skill workers today is expected to change by 2030 with this automation, with agentics, AI, people are building agent, building workflow, a whole lot of things is happening. So how can you better position yourself so that in your field you remains an asset? And AI and big data is number one on the list of the fastest growing skills employer want to see in their potential, employees. So that's why I said when I started, you with your own path together with AI, you'll be a force. You'll be a force. AI, yes, it will take some people's job, but if you know how to leverage AI in your own field, you become an asset, and it will be difficult for AI to come and take your job, because your job is not just to do stuff. Your job is to, use your own experience to look at issues and make certain decisions. So you are not on the wrong path by studying whatever you're studying. And automated AI can be adopted and used in different fields. Talk about in healthcare and agriculture. Maybe you have somebody that, founded a company that analyzes a baby's cry to detect whether the child has any form of, disability and all that. You have AI that reads X-ray and also scans and help radiology spot tuberculosis and, other cancerous tissues faster than anybody else. So you've got chatbot that can handle parent or patient triage. I'm talking about patient that you've got chatbot that you can chat with and then help you with certain responses. That is being done in healthcare. In agriculture, too, people are flying drones here and there, to help you drop seeds, to help you drop water. The drones knows when to go and whatever to do. You're monitoring your crop, you're monitoring the health of the crop. It's helping you to identify, bad apples from good apples and all those things. You can now take your mobile phone and take a snapshot of leaves, and then it tells you whether that leaf has, any form of diseases and what have you, or the AI can forecast to the weather and tell the farmers and say, this is where you can actually plant plants. So these are ways that people are already leveraging, artificial intelligence, automation in agriculture, in healthcare, in finance and business operations. You have all those, fintech companies are leveraging it to help you do calculation of credit score, your loan score, or whether this person is, should be given loan, whether this person is likely going to run away or going to pay. They do all those, fraud detection, the robo advisor that will look at your income, look at your bank statement and tell you, oh, this is how you should, better plan for next month. Business operations, a lot of companies are turning their customer care services, they are beefing it up or just augmenting it with AI chatbot. So whether a staff is there or not, potential customers or clients will have something they can always relate with and chat with. They are using it in those fields too. In education, where we are, my own, sector, and in creative economy, you've got platforms that can now teach our students, whether the teachers are there or they are not there, they can teach the student, run them through case scenarios, prepare them for exams. You have AI quizzes and all these, you write your lesson plan, you do all these things. AI is already helping with that. Or in creative economy, I have many songs on Spotify, on Apple Music or YouTube that I created entirely using AI, solo creative. And we have notable artists too that are leveraging artificial intelligence, in creating songs, or directing their videos, or creating their videos entirely. On YouTube now, there are a lot of AI movies. On YouTube, we have AI Nollywood. So a whole lot of things are happening, and you can build all this together in form of automation. You set up your automation, every day you have a workflow that generate the story, generate the images, generate the scenes, merge everything together, and you have your video you're able to play. So in different fields, you can leverage artificial intelligence and automation. So AI, like I said earlier, plus your faculty is the winning formula. I keep telling people that I'm happy that I did not just study computer science, but I study computer science education. So education is my own domain aside IT, that I can always leverage my skill in education plus technology to be able to drive different changes in education sector. So your own field, whether it is law, whether it is medicine, whether it is in agriculture, whether it's arts and humanities, engineering, business and admin, languages, whatever field you are, if you plug in AI into that, that is your winning formula. So the scarce skill is not AI alone now. It is the deep knowledge of a field combined with the ability to apply AI inside. So this, summit is important for you to begin to x-ray your field and then begin to say, oh, how do I plug in AI into whatever I am studying? How can I leverage it in my field? What problem or what are the repetitive tasks there that I can set up automation for in my field? Maybe in law, you want AI to help you review contracts and find case laws in seconds. You want to really win, and you've got lots of constitutions from different things, past cases that you want to digest and draw out things there. This AI can help in your field. Last week I was at a summit in Lagos. We also had a training for a group of lawyers, a law firm, all their staff there on how they can plug in AI. So this is what people are doing, and that is why this summit is important to reiterate again that don't throw away whatever you're studying. Just begin to think of problem you want to solve. So how can you spot a problem worth solving in your field? Okay, you walk through your day, your campus, your community, there are a lot of opportunities around you. So number one, you want to look at it. What is repetitive? Is it repetitive? Is it something that you do the same way every now and then? For example, a teacher that writes notes every week, or a business guy that you create analysis, you do analysis of the data you get every Friday. Is something repetitive, the same task is done again and again. So I've given examples. Look for, that's one thing. Is it repetitive? Does it follow a particular pattern? That thing that is repetitive, does it follow a pattern? The same pattern every time? When decisions rely on rules or past examples, maybe you're sorting applications, you're grading, you are routing complaints, does it follow a particular pattern? That's the second one. The third one, is there data involved? Are you working with data? And I'm talking about in form of text, in form of images, in form of numbers, in form of voice call, received medical records, farm photos, chat logs. Are there data involved that you want to work with? That's number three. And number four, does it waste human time? Do you believe that this is not something that you should be, using all your creativity and your entire being on? Does it waste time? Skilled people spend hours on small things, data entry, just margin of sheets every Friday. If you are able to look at these 4 steps, score 4 out of 4, you have found a project, a product, and a business. So begin to adopt this and look for that problem. When you identify it, then you go to the next step. And the next step will now be, how do I solve this problem? And the good thing about AI that is now a leveler is that you don't need to be a programmer to start. Okay, you do need to be a programmer to start. You've got your AI tools out there, Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, your Codex inside OpenAI's ChatGPT. You've got Kimi, you've got all these tools are there that you can now use for research, for writing, for analysis, for planning, for even building the application itself. So you have these tools that you just need to talk to them, plan whatever you're doing. And you also have what we call no code automation tools like Zapier, like N8N, like Microsoft Power Automate. Of course, now you use Microsoft Copilot to build agents. So you can use all these tools, and we call them no code because you're not writing Python, you're not writing, all these languages. It's just you drag them there, you understand the workflow, and you are plugging everything together to build that big workflow that will do the job. And also, AI is inside the apps that you're familiar with already. You're thinking of creating flyers for your business or your for campus project and what have you. Canva that you're familiar with as Canva AI that you can use. There is Copilot, there is Claude for Excel, there is Copilot for Microsoft Word, there is Gamma for building slides, there is Notebook LM for building slides, for building podcasts, for building videos, for doing reports, for creating tables. You already have these tools, AI inside those tools that you're familiar with. And the final one that I put there, already hinted it earlier on, is vibe coding. Vibe coding is where you're writing code, right? But you're not the one literally writing it. You're prompting Claude Code, for example, or Codex or Gemini and inside Anti-Gravity or any of these tools, Cursor. You're using the Replit, you're using them to create applications and you're just talking to them. I did something recently. I vibe coded a mobile app that I use on my phone now. I think two. One we use for a kind of quiz that we do on the streets. Vibe coded it from the beginning to the end. It will generate questions on the fly, score the question, for like something similar to wants to be a millionaire, but on the streets now. Vibe coded it. There is one also that I did to help people that are writing their projects. So you just install it. I even converted it to a window application. Install it on your system, put your research data and then your hypothesis, and it can help you analyze the data based on the objectives and your hypothesis. So you can vibe code applications now. You can vibe code a website where you put all your portfolio, things that you have been doing. You can do some of these things entirely for free. It is when you now want to do more that you can kind of upgrade. So you can still use Claude, to build something. Claude design is there. You've got Codex inside, OpenAI's ChatGPT. So all these things, AI in a way has demystified the entry barrier. So mention some of the commercial products that started with plain language. You have them now. People are building stuff. You see them on LinkedIn, on X. They're saying, "Oh, I vibe coded this thing." So begin to think about all these things. So these are 4 career lessons I wish I knew as a student. You have the opportunity to, use and utilize these career lessons. Now, number 1, learn in public. I've been posting what I learn online. I do that a lot now. I create content. If I'm learning something, the next thing I do is I create content around it and I put it online. And this is one of the things that earned me the Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, because they want to see, oh, are you a community? What are your roles in your community? What are you doing? And not just that, it has also helped in getting, a lot of contracts here and there because of, people like, oh, we trust this guy that is doing something. A guy did something on X too, was doing, is it something beam, peel beam for churches, that when pastor call a particular Bible verse, he picks it up before the media people start searching through all the regular applications that they normally use. The guy was building in public, was documenting it. So when he launched, he had, customer waiting already. So that's something, and that's also, bring about a credibility. People look at you and say, oh, in case I need to do something in this space, I already have somebody that is doing that. Be that person that is owning AI in law because you're studying law. Be that person that is owning AI in finance because you're studying finance and you want to plug in AI. Second thing, build small, finish and repeat. Just look for one small project. We already talked about how you can identify problems. Pick a problem, build the solution, build small, finish it up, repeat the cycle again, do something, and document all these things. Then teach what you learn. Teaching a concept to someone else is the fastest way to master it. So some of you are attending this summit now. When you go out there, your friends are there. You want to show them how to do all those things. And the more you do that, the more you get better yourself too. And then solve for someone specific. Do not build for everyone. Like I said, identify your problem and then solve for that person. And that's how you begin to grow. But all these things that we are talking about, we've got to emphasize that we must learn to use AI responsibly. Okay, verify before you trust. Whatever AI must have given you, do your job to verify, because AI hallucinates and you don't want to just, pack something that is not true in whatever you are pushing out there. So AI can state wrong things confidently. Always, fact check. Then own your work. You want to use AI to draft, to improve, or whatever, but you must be the one to make the final decision. Go through everything before you now say, oh, this is what I'm going to submit. Then protect your data and then privacy. Look at some of these tools. There are places where you need to turn on and turn off, all those data privacy stuff there, and be mindful of what you push there. If there's something that you don't want out there, you may reconsider posting it inside your LLMs. And watch out for bias. AI has biases. What do I mean by bias? If you go on any of those large language models or even Google now and say a picture of a doctor, you're likely going to get a certain image. If you say a picture of an homeless person, you're likely going to get a message. And some people will be building, and when AI is the one determining whether somebody should get a loan, if they've introduced bias in there and say if the person is black or if the person is white or if the person is Yoruba or Igbo or Hausa, such a person should be, filtered out. They must have put that in their model. So beware of bias too. Trustworthy AI use is itself a career advantage. So don't just use AI, use it responsibly. And as I begin to round up, this is a 30-day startup plan for you that you can just run through. Don't worry, you'll get this presentation. I'll send it across. So week one, you want to get fluent. Pick one of the tools. That's one mistake people make. They want to learn ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini all at once. Pick one tool, continue to use it and use it and use it till you get so much comfortable with it before you say you want to start jumping on other. Week two, you want to automate one thing. Choose one repetitive task in your life and automate it. Week three, solve for someone else. You've done it for yourself. You want to look at your friend or look at somebody around you and say, oh, I want to help you, come up with automation to solve this. And then share it publicly. Whatever you have done, I'm not saying your secret, your trade secret in code, but you just want to talk about what you've done. Oh, I did this yesterday. If you don't have LinkedIn account at the moment, that's something that you should be able to create, after this summit. And in summary, if you remember only 4 things, all through this my keynote address. Number one, automated AI is already part of your life. Okay, then every faculty has AI opportunities. Even Yoruba has AI opportunities, and your domain knowledge, I keep using that word, domain knowledge plus your AI skill is a combination employers and marketers reward. 3, you can start today with free tools. Don't say, oh, I don't have enough money. It's just my alawi that I have. I don't want to subscribe to Claude for $20. Start with a free plan. Yes, you will need to wait after a while before you continue, but you can still learn with the free tools. And then consistency compounds. Learn daily, build small, do it again, share publicly, repeat the cycle. Don't just learn today and by tomorrow you say you are tired. No, you continue to learn. Okay, I wish you Lagos the best, and then Good luck.